I got some heartbreaking news to share about Alexa Bliss that WWE fans, and more importantly, Alexa Bliss fans, are going to want to hear because it pertains to her WWE status as well as what we had initially believed literally for months now that we were going to get. I'm also going to break down what WWE exactly had planned, how they avoided a major mistake in not doing this, what is going on with Alexa Bliss, and much, much more. Because we have not seen Alexa Bliss on WWE television, WWE programming since January of 2023, y'all. She put over Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble, and it came at a time where they were teasing an alliance with her, Uncle Howdy, and Bray Wyatt. She has since given birth to her first child. Bray Wyatt has unfortunately lost his life. And there's been a lot said, a lot done with Alexa Bliss. Now, for months, there has been reports that she was slated to return to WWE in time for WrestleMania season, but things have changed. Because her return plans have been put on hold indefinitely, according to PW Insider. This is such a jam-packed report, so sit back and relax for a minute. WWE Creative had been working on ideas for Bliss's return, but those plans have now been scrapped. The decision to delay her comeback is not linked to creative issues or her not being ready on her own part, but instead, it may involve contract matters. Bliss, a former multi-time women's champion, well, she was eager to make her return after 2 years of absence from active in-ring competition. So what is going on? What has halted Alexa Bliss's return? Initial creative plans. WWE reportedly pitched a storyline where Bliss would have been aligned with or interact with the Wyatt Six faction, a faction that is led by Uncle Howdy and obviously has ties to the late great Bray Wyatt. Bliss's long-standing connection with Wyatt, stemming from her involvement with the Fiend storyline in 2020 and 2021, well, it would have made a natural fit for her and then this faction, although I still hate the idea of doing that. The plan was for Bliss to make her return several weeks ago on an episode of Monday Night Raw in San Jose, but WWE Creative was told to drop all Bliss-related storylines just before the event. The Wyatt Six faction was moved to SmackDown, and their creative direction has been rewritten to exclude any ties with the Bliss moving forward. Now, so let's break that down for a second. One, she was supposed to be with Wyatt Six. Thank goodness they opted not to do so. Number two, they are going in a completely different direction with the Wyatt Six, therefore putting a halt on Bliss's return and any storylines related to that. Number two, potential contract issues. This may be a huge, huge factor because the delay may also stem from contract issues right now because Bliss is reportedly still under contract with WWE, but under the terms of her old deal, which was signed before she took time off to have her first child. While not confirmed, speculation suggests that WWE may be reevaluating her contract status before moving forward with creative plans for her return. That makes sense, right? Because if you don't have the right contract, say her contract was slated to expire, well, now you have to add 2 years onto it because of time missed if WWE opts to put time on it. They could have simply said, you know what, we're not going to add time, you're good to go, and then they have to renew a deal, right? Making her a free agent, or she has little to no time left on her existing deal. Number three, not part of the WWE Royal Rumble match. So, Bliss is not being considered for a surprise appearance in the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match, according to PW Insider, meaning that her absence is not part of a storyline or a planned shock return in any way, shape, or form. This further supports the notion that WWE is holding off on using Bliss due to behind-the-scenes complications unrelated to her being ready and any other issues like that. Let's circle back for a minute. The Wyatt Six connection. One of the most notable parts of Bliss's career had been her connection with Bray Wyatt, particularly as her role in the Fiend storyline from 2020 to 2021. When the Wyatt Six faction was first teased, many fans assumed that Bliss would naturally play a part in the group's creative direction, potentially reprising her darker, more supernatural persona, something which I'm still against. However, with the faction now moved to SmackDown and Bliss no longer tied to their plans and staying on Monday Night Raw, it appears that WWE has decided to keep their storylines entirely separate moving forward, which is a good thing. Now, moving along. What does this mean? Bliss's WWE status and speculation. Bliss has been one of WWE's most versatile performers, excelling in multiple roles from her goddess persona to her sinister character linked to The Fiend. While her time away from the ring was understandably due to personal life, having her first child, fans, well, they're a little frustrated because they want to see her back on WWE television. So just keep in mind from this report, here's 3 simple breakdowns that you need to know. Number 1, no immediate creative plans. Bliss is not featured in any creative pitches, including WrestleMania season plans, which had been rumored as her potential return window. Number 2, contract concerns. If there isn't indeed a contract issue, it may involve renegotiating her deal to reflect her current role and star power in WWE. Number 3, future uncertainty. With no official return date and no active storylines, Bliss's future in WWE feels more uncertain than ever. Now, let's talk about the fan reactions. When I saw this report, when I posted on Wrestling News Co., I knew I needed to talk about it, and I knew I needed to just check social media. So, disappointment. Obviously, many fans have voiced their frustration over WWE's inability to capitalize on Bliss's popularity and creative versatility. She brings such star power to this company, it's not even funny. Number 2, concern. Some fans worry that Bliss's extended absence and apparent lack of creative direction could signal a deeper issue with her relationship with WWE. I can see that. And number 3, hope for a fresh start. Others are optimistic that if Bliss returns in her new contract or storyline, it could lead to a creative rebirth that revitalizes her career. So, with all that being said, for now, Bliss's return appears to be on hold indefinitely. That's what the report said. So here are a few possible scenarios about what could happen next. Number 1, we get news that she signed a new deal or a restructuring of a new deal. If the delay is contract related, WWE may be just working behind the scenes to get her done and locked down to a new deal, and it reflects her value as a performer. Number 2, a creative reset. Once WWE resolves the issues in delaying her return, then they got to come up with new, fresh storyline related plans for her, and has nothing to do with past connections with Bray Wyatt or The Fiend. And number 3, it's always possible, and I hope this is not the case, but it's also possible that if WWE and Bliss cannot come to terms on a new contract or creative direction, it's possible that she could just explore other options out of WWE. Now, to wrap this up, to give my final thoughts, here it is. Alexa Bliss remains one of the most beloved and talented performers in WWE, and her prolonged absence has left a noticeable gap in the women's division. While fans have had hopes of seeing her back on WWE television, perhaps in the Women's Royal Rumble match or at WrestleMania 41, it appears they're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Whether it's a matter of creative direction, contract negotiations, or other behind-the-scenes factors, WWE fans are eagerly awaiting the day that Bliss hits her music and walks out and makes her highly anticipated return. Until then, her future with WWE is up in the air, and I look forward to seeing what the next update is about her status.